Welcome to the Be Well and Ground podcast, where we come together to nurture our bodies, our families, and our lives in a way that's sustainable, healthy, and full of heart. I'm your host, Emily, and each week we'll connect with wellness experts, passionate professionals, and fellow mamas to bring you practical tips and inspiration on everything from motherhood and health to gardening and low-tox living. This is a space for community where we lift each other up with actionable advice, support, and the tools you need to create more balance in your life. Whether you're looking to grow your garden, simplify your wellness routine, or just find that little bit of peace in your busy day, we've got you covered. So grab a cup of tea, join the conversation, and let's journey toward a more balanced, more vibrant life together. What happens when a Cambridge geneticist trades her lab coat for a homestead? Today on the Be Well and Ground podcast, I'm sitting down with my friend Ruth, a woman who once spent her days sequencing plant DNA at the Sainsbury Laboratory, as she would say, and implementing genome testing pathways through England's National Health Service. And now she's raising chickens, culturing gingerbug, growing oyster mushrooms, homeschooling her son, and also tending to a small piece of land outside Charlotte that she says changed her life the moment she walked through the front door. Ruth's story is one of the most honest transitions I've ever heard, from career woman to military spouse to now a homemaker, and we talk about what it actually looks like to rebuild yourself from scratch. We talk about sourdough starters named Dobie, a rooster called Flour, green eggs from designer chickens. We talk about gingerbread soda, garlic honey that will explode if you forget to burp it, and the very real magic of letting your kids name your chicks. This conversation is so full and so warm and completely unplanned in the best way. I hope it gives you permission to lean into wherever you are right now, if it's that messy transitioning or just kind of figuring it out one breath at a time. So let's get into it. I first want to welcome our guest today. Her name is Ruth, and me and Ruth met, would you say maybe, is it a year? Has it only been a year?
It's only been a year.
Okay,
yes,
I feel like I've known you forever.
I know. It's
Yeah.
weird, isn't it?
Yeah, but we met about a year ago through something called Mom's Meditations. And basically, if you're local, we kind of meet up. It was like once a month, and we do kind of like a yoga and sound bath kind of mix and just kind of like make it a mom afternoon, which is really great. We paused because I've been on maternity leave, but we're hoping to start that back soon. But that's actually where I met Ruth. So when I began to know Ruth and get talk to her a little bit more, I found out how fascinating she was as a person. She has so much history and so much background that I think is just really helpful for us to talk about, especially if you're in a similar situation or journey. But today our topic's going to be kind of all over the place. Motherhood, we got some homemakers, some transitioning of herself included. So I would love to just chat, Ruth, if you don't mind introducing yourself, who you are, who Ruth is in this season of your life.
Sure. My name is Ruth. In case you hadn't picked up by the accent, I'm not originally from here. So I come from England and I've been over in the US for about 7 years now. I met my husband when I was in England and he was in the Air Force. So he finished his career there and then he retired out of the military a few years ago now. So we moved back to the States. And since then, I've basically been mom and wife. And yeah, I guess that's me really.
Yeah. Now I remember talking with you before. I think we connected maybe over sourdough. I don't know. One of those things, maybe a garden. But I know that for both of us, creativity is such a huge, big part of who you are. And would you say, I guess, can you walk us back? So I know you mentioned that you used to have a different career right before. Can
Yeah.
you talk me through how Ruth started and then what's Ruth doing now?
It's so funny because English Ruth is completely different from American Ruth now. So when I was in England, I actually worked in genetic research for Cambridge University. I did 2 different versions of genetic research within my time. So one of them was implementing a whole genome testing pathway through the National Health Service. So I was responsible for getting the platforms that were in their infancy at the time. We were developing platforms that maintained secure sample security and stuff like that so that it could be used within the health system for diagnostic testing. So that was my first role. And then I moved into plant genetics and I worked at the Botanical Gardens in Cambridge at the Sainsbury Laboratory for a few years. that was fun. And we were basically testing the genes that produce longevity and sustainability within farming. So crops that could be grown in low water regions and crops that would grow in low nitrogen situations as well. And the whole development behind that is that engineering crops that will grow in third world countries in drought situations and things like that.
Wow, that's so amazing and meaningful. And would you say that transition for you is kind of what jump-started the desire to kind of do that for yourself, or kind of walk me through how that kind of created in yourself that love for plants?
No,
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 really?
that is the
That's so
funniest
crazy.
thing. Because the moment I used to say to anyone, I work in the botanical gardens, I
Right.
would always get, oh, I've got this orchid and it's not doing very well. Well, can you help me out with it? And I'm like, okay, I need to explain to you what I do. So we used to work with a plant called Arabidopsis, and it's a weed. And we used to
Okay.
use that because it had a 6-week life cycle. So obviously the fastest the life cycle, the fastest you can get through the generations and improve genetic situations. So what I used to do is grow weeds, grind up weeds, extract their DNA, and then test them. There was very little plant knowledge, anything within that.
Okay, I
Yeah.
gotcha. That's
Yeah.
cool though. Okay,
Yeah,
so
but for the longest time, I would get, "Can you sort out my orchid or some kind of plant like that?" No, the whole kind of going to natural here has been a a calling for me. Like, it's been a 180 with my life from going from working person, doing something like genetic research and being in a really scientific background to now becoming a homemaker and a homesteader. And yeah, it was this house actually. We were looking for just a little piece of land because we lived in an HOA and we couldn't have our RV and we were paying a lot in storage fees. And we just wanted a little piece of land where we could leave our RV on. And
mhm,
that's all we were looking for. And
yeah.
then one day, John sent me the listing for this house and he said, I know it's nothing like what you wanted, what we were looking for, but I think this is where we should be. And
Mhm,
I looked at that listing and I went, we need to look at that place tomorrow.
mhm.
And so he set up the viewing. And the minute we crossed over the threshold, I said
Mhm.
to John, this is our house. This is where
Oh,
we should be. And
yeah,
then, we got it, we moved in. And then since then, everything has happened. It
yeah.
it started with the sourdough.
Okay.
John calls it the gateway drug.
It is, yes.
Mhm, it is. And I was starting to do things like that, realizing that for my child, I needed food to be more natural.
Mm,
I wanted to be responsible for what we were putting into his body.
mm,
And at that time, that's as far as I thought we were going to go.
yeah.
And then we were talking about school. He's 4.5 now. So we were talking about what we do with schooling.
Mm.
And for me, homeschooling is the ultimate nightmare. I It wasn't me at all.
Right.
And for a long time, I thought I can't do this.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I have numerical issues. I have
Mm,
autism
mm,
and I have some issues with number processing and things like that. And
mm,
I struggled greatly at school with maths,
mm.
although I obviously did very well in science because I ended up in genetics.
Yeah.
But maths I couldn't do at all. And there were certain things and I was like, I am not qualified or cut out to do this at all. And then it was a calling. We were talking about it one day and we were praying about what was going to happen. And I literally had a message that was, if you step into this 100%,
Mm-hmm.
you will find your joy.
Mm.
So
Good. Yes.
that's what we started. And since then, it's kind of become apparent that that's why we're doing everything. It's for him, it's for his future.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's very important to raise up the next generation
Mm.
with the things that we're trying to instill in him at the moment.
Nice. So kind of walk me through that. When you said 7 years ago, right?
Mhm.
Relocated here.
Yeah.
How long from purchasing your house into, I guess, immediately when you moved here, you kind of
Mhm.
transitioned away from your career. Is that correct?
I transitioned away from my career when we moved over to the States. To begin with, we were living in Virginia because John was stationed at the Air
Mm,
Force Base there. And then when he retired, we moved over to Charlotte with his new job.
okay. Gotcha.
And then we were actually in Mount Holly beforehand, and that's where
Ah,
our HOA is.
okay.
And then this is where we moved when we found the land.
Gotcha. So the
Yeah.
sourdough for you, was it in this specific house? This,
Specific house.
okay.
Yeah.
So it really
This
was that
house.
house. That is
Yeah.
crazy.
This
Yeah.
house was literally the key to unlocking everything. It's crazy.
That is amazing. So
Yeah.
how would you say your transition was? Like, talk to me. Like, be honest. Was it hard transitioning from
Mhm.
having a career to now the States and now from the RV now to this house? And
Mhm.
talk to me what that transition was like for you as a person, as a just a human being.
It was very overwhelming.
Mm,
I'm very close to my family, and obviously
mm,
my family are all in Cambridge, so that was a big thing.
okay. Yeah.
And then moving here is a culture shock as well. And everything I knew was suddenly gone.
Mm,
And that's something you sign up to when you're in the military or you're in a military spouse. Your friendships are very flexible as well, because you see someone and then you don't see them for 10 years because they go to
yeah.
different bases across the world. So
Mm,
it was, it was for a while, I felt adrift. I didn't know who I was anymore. I didn't
mm,
know what my plan was and
mm,
what I was supposed to do or where I fit in. So yeah, it was a huge transition, and I felt like it took several years. And I think that was mainly because I was trying to recreate my life back home here.
yeah.
And that, the whole thing of your life changing, you have to keep moving, pushing forward. And if you keep trying to bring everything from the past with you, then you're not getting anywhere, really, are you? But
Yeah.
I'm very stubborn, as my husband will gladly tell you. And it takes quite a while for things to get through
Yeah. Would you
this
say
stuff.
there was something that kind of helped you kind of ground yourself with the change, or what would you say helped you with that transition for yourself? Was there things that you found that were like, oh, wait, that makes me feel a little bit more like myself? Was it diving into different topics? Was it learning new skills or connecting with the community, or what kind of helped
Mhm.
Ruth become Ruth now?
New skills was a big one. Obviously, doing something like genetics takes a fair bit of brain power.
Yeah.
And that was one thing that I found when I stopped working.
Hmm.
And then I started the dreaded perimenopause as well. And
Perfect combo.
yeah, and then there was pregnancy and baby
Yeah.
brain. And then
Yep.
I went straight back into menopause as well. So that was fun.
Hmm.
And all this stuff just made me feel like I didn't even recognize myself anymore.
Mm.
I mean, like the last time we spoke like this, you were teaching me to breathe through panic attacks
Mm. Yeah.
because yeah, well,
Hormones.
that was mainly menopause related, yeah.
Yeah.
But everything flipped on its head, and everything was so scary.
Mm.
And yeah, so for me, learning new skills was a big one because it gave me something to focus that energy on.
Mm.
Also, I mean, my friends will tell you that my interests become hyperfixations and obsessions. But no, it's fun things that I got to, like sourdough was the first one.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've been doing that for a year and I only feel like I've only just cracked it.
Right? Like
Yeah.
it's one thing and then there's so many pieces of sourdough too. I
Yeah.
want like I've done focaccia and I've done different types of bread, but I'm like, well, what
Hmm.
if I've never done this with sourdough. and you get into that, what would you, if you don't mind, if we can go off into some of this homesteading, self-sufficiency stuff, you have sourdough. What else is Ruth currently dive deeping in or hyperfixating on right now? Can you share?
Yeah, so one of my hyperfixations is mushrooms.
Yes, I remember that. Sorry, I'm so excited. Go ahead.
Yes, I absolutely love growing mushrooms. They are so fiddly.
Oh,
And
I have so many questions. How do
yeah.
you do it now? Like you have to have a special room, right?
Mhm.
Talk to me.
Well, not really. I
No?
mean, I started off with one of those grow kits that you can get on the internet that you just need to open them up and spray water on them.
Okay.
So I started with blue oysters, and
Blue
we've got
oysters.
some lion's mane and things like that. Because one of our main goals here is self-sufficiency.
Hmm.
So as obviously we're not expecting to be able to do that 100%, but as close as we could get would be great.
Hmm.
So for me, it wasn't just about buying a kit and growing the kit and then eating the mushroom. Ruth went further down the rabbit hole with that one. There was, how can I clone this kit so that I never have to buy mushrooms ever again? And all the fun stuff that starts with that. And then you go down the rabbit hole of mycelium
Oh.
and yeah, things like that. And it's really exciting.
Do
Lots
you
of
also have a
bacteria.
garden too with your mushrooms?
We
Yes?
do have a garden. Yeah.
Okay.
The mushrooms are inside and the garden is outside. The garden is also something that is in its infancy.
Yeah, there's a lot that comes to it too.
There is a lot. And
Yeah.
I eventually would like to be able to grow food and medicine as well.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's the end goal.
Mhm.
At the moment, we have a few planters, a lot of bushes, and a lot of willingness to do it. But my green thumb is not the greenest.
What are you currently growing right now in your garden? Are you planning on for the season?
Carrots. We've actually got some carrots growing at the moment, which is pretty
Nice.
cool. Yeah.
Good.
We're mainly concentrating on the things that we like to eat. So like carrots, bell peppers, potatoes, ginger. We use a lot of
Oh,
ginger.
I
'Cause
haven't grown ginger.
Have you heard of a ginger bug?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I'll tell you about ginger bug
Okay,
then.
go ahead.
So ginger bug is basically the soda version of a sourdough starter. I know, right? You can make healthy probiotic sodas at home very, very easily. Would you like me to tell you how?
I mean, I've had a SCOBY, a kombucha SCOBY.
So a ginger bug is literally organic ginger root, some sugar, and some water.
Okay.
Filtered water, so it doesn't have all the chemicals in it because they will affect the yeast on the ginger. And then you basically just combine the ginger, water, and sugar, leave it for a few days, burp it every day, and keep feeding it some sugar and some more ginger. And eventually you will have a wild yeast colony that feeds off of the sugar. And then you can use that to turn flavored teas or juices or anything like that into soda. You basically just take the soda, take the juice or the tea, some sugar, and then add the ginger bug to it, leave it a few days, and it will ferment it and turn it into a soda.
That is amazing. How does it taste?
Obviously, if you like ginger, things like that are better.
Yeah.
But if you only do a little bit of it, like I've done it with peach tea, and you cannot taste the ginger in it at all. The peach tea is actually one of my favorites. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But I've actually got to the point now where, because I have the menopause brain and everything else that's going on, I don't actually make soda out of it anymore. I actually just drink it neat. So, every few days I just, have a little glass of that, and it is full of the good stuff.
That's amazing. I also know when I was pregnant, maybe you had this too. Ginger helped me with the nausea. I don't know if that helped you or not, but I love ginger. Yeah.
It's a very good medicine as well. It's good for when you're sick, inflammation, all that kind of stuff. It helps obviously with the nausea and heartburn and things like that. There are so many good things about ginger.
Yeah, that kind of makes me, have you heard of the fire cider?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I want to try that too.
Hmm.
That's like on the list. Have you
Yes.
tried it to
I
make
haven't
it?
tried it, but I've got
Okay.
the garlic honey going at the moment
Ah,
as well.
man, that's
But
been on
yeah,
my list to do.
yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
the garlic honey, that is basically you just take the garlic cloves and then you
Mhm.
put it in honey and you let it
Yeah.
sit, right?
Yeah,
Or
you let it sit. You turn it upside down every day, and also you have to remember to burp it because it releases gases, and if you don't, they explode. Like, I'm no joke. I've
okay.
seen them explode before. So yeah, you have to burp it every day until it stops releasing gas, and just keep turning it upside
So
down.
for burping for your ginger bug and this, do you
Yeah.
have that silicone thing that releases the air, or how do you burp it? Do you just unloose it and put it back?
Yeah, yeah. I tried the fermenting lids.
Yeah,
I tried those before, and they never build up the carbonation that you want. So I just go with a regular canning jar lid and then just burp it every day.
would that be just be loosening the lid? Or
Yeah, yeah. Just
yeah,
release the gases until it hisses, and then
I see.
yeah,
Got it.
and
Okay.
then just screw the lid again. In fact, would you like me to show you my gin?
I would love to see
Yeah,
it. That'd be so cool.
I will go get it for you.
Yeah, because I've only heard of the kombucha. I didn't know there was another option with the ginger bug. I want to
Yes,
pull
because
up.
I'm not. I've never tried the kombucha, but I love the ginger bug idea.
Oh, hi.
So
That's
this is
like
my
a
ginger bug.
hi,
Um,
ginger bug.
she has actually been burped already to date. So although there is still, well, there's a little bit of wiggle room in there. But yeah, I did burp this earlier because I actually drank some of this morning. But
Wow.
you can see all the bubbles and the
Hmm.
carbonation in there.
I can. Hi.
See, when you open it, when it's fully um like pressurized, it will
Hmm.
fizz like up to the neck. It's pretty.
Oh.
It's,
What size jar is that?
this one is like a half a gallon, but
Okay.
most people do it in a smaller one. But I just do it this much because John and I will literally just strain off a glass and drink it and eat. So
That's amazing. Oh my
yeah.
gosh. I love finding new things to put on the list to figure out. Okay, so we had gardening,
Uh-huh.
mushrooms.
Yeah.
You have chickens?
We have chickens. Yeah.
When did that happen?
So we got chickens last year.
Okay.
We were planning on them anyway, and then with the egg shortages and everything that happened,
Yeah.
we were like, let's just go ahead and start right now.
Yeah.
So we started off with 4 girls and our boy,
Hmm.
and then my husband went to Tractor Supply one day when I was feeling depressed, and we ended up with 3 more chickens.
Chickens make everything better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So those were our main flock last year. And then we've just had we hatched some a few months ago that were like, Mom, Ruth wanted green eggs. So we went and
Oh.
we got some hatching eggs from some designer chickens. So we've got a couple of designer chickens. And then we've just actually hatched yesterday some chicks. So
Oh,
would you like to have a look?
can I see? Yeah.
They're still in the incubator at the moment, drying off. We've also got one egg that is pipped, but it hasn't hatched yet, so we can't open the incubator.
Okay.
Okay, now let's see.
Oh,
Can you
I
see?
see. Hi. Okay, so honest question. When
Mhm.
you learn your new skills, like for example, chickens, how do
Yeah.
you guys go about learning how to start and how to do things?
Most of it is YouTube and
Mhm.
Facebook groups.
Oh, okay.
The amount of groups now that people have
Hmm.
for everything on social media is
Yeah.
absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where I learned all the mushroom stuff as well.
Okay.
And, most people in the same situation as you, they really want to help you.
Yeah.
I've,
Yeah.
like everyone on this journey that we've been on with this has been nothing but helpful and kind. And people really pull together,
Hmm.
like when they're in the same sort of situation as you. Yeah. So yeah, the groups like that have been amazing for information and things like little tips and tricks and things like that.
Is there
Yeah.
a specific one locally for anyone that's listening locally that's interested in mushrooms? What's the name of that one? Is it like mushrooms in
Not
North Carolina?
really.
No, okay.
No,
It's just a generic.
there is a local mushroom North Carolina group,
Okay. And
but it's
see.
not the most active one.
Gotcha.
There is one on Facebook called Mushrooms for Beginners. Those are really useful. Yeah.
Got it. That's
Yeah.
good.
Mhm.
Okay. So we talked about chickens, we got mushrooms, the garden, sourdough. What is next on your list? Do you have one that you're working towards, like a next skill or something that's on your self-sufficiency list?
Yeah. Well, some kind of dairy animal.
Oh.
We kind of, I think possibly sheep
Mhm.
or possibly cow. We haven't 100% decided yet, but
Yeah.
sheep would be very useful as well because I crochet. So it would be useful to, like, how cool would it be to have
I
blankets
can't.
on our beds that are made from the wool from our sheep?
So, real question.
Yeah.
I am still working on this as a learner. I
Mhm.
get so excited, but then I try to do all of them at the same time. Are you similar, or do you have like, okay, let's focus on one skill this month, and then once we get that, we jump to the next one? What is you and your husband's process? Like, how do you guys prioritize and like work towards that bigger goal? Tell
Yeah.
me, because I'm still learning.
I'm really bad at it.
Oh.
I like when I went, okay, we're doing this last year.
Mhm.
I was frenzied for like months. Like, okay, we have to do everything now. We have to get everything in place. Like
Mhm.
I have a beehive sat in my patio
Yeah.
that Connie, our friend Connie, that
Yep.
she's an amazing artist. She painted it for me and it's
Oh.
beautiful. And it's sat there and it hasn't been used because I don't have bees.
But you will.
I will have bees.
That's one step.
Yeah, because I was really optimistic and I thought if I put one swarm tree up in the garden, we're bound to catch a swarm. So we agreed that if we didn't catch a swarm at some point, I could purchase bees.
Bees. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know when that will happen yet. I'm not sure if that's even one we'll focus on
Let's
this
focus
year.
on.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
So,
would be nice to get like the garden, like some more flowers and stuff for the bees
okay.
as well in first. So
Yeah, that's
yeah.
actually a really good segue. I'm learning into this too. I started with vegetables. I
Mhm.
just grew anything. Then I grew what I
Mhm.
liked. And
Yeah.
then now I'm like growing things. I just started growing loofahs and I was mentioning my birdhouse gourds. So now I'm
Mhm.
interested in growing things that I can craft with. I'm obsessed with it. But I think you mentioned some plant medicine, right?
Yeah.
Is that kind of the next step? Can you
Yeah.
talk me through what got you interested in that and which ones are you focusing on?
Yeah. Well, I'm not one of these people that goes, I won't take medicine if I don't, if it's necessary.
Hmm.
So like I'm I would say I'm semi crunchy to an extent. So
Ish,
like
crunchy-ish.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, the medicines that I can grow that will help our family,
Hmm.
those are the ones that I will focus on. So, like, I have asthma and my mother-in-law has some breathing issues and stuff. So, we're going to be growing mullein, which is
Okay.
very, very good for respiratory issues.
Okay.
And things like marshmallow as well, which are also
Mm,
good. And so I've looked at the kind of the health things that will benefit us and gone, okay, well, what can we realistically grow here?
right.
And that's
Gotcha.
what we're going to do. I think I'm going to try a wildflower attempt first and just try like dancing through the field and scattering the flowers and seeing what
Yeah.
grows.
I love
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another good portion of gardening is kind of just testing stuff out.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, let's just see what happens. And
Yeah.
sometimes you get lucky and sometimes you just get a learning lesson.
Yeah.
So,
I think one of the things that's important as well. I think when you first start with that need to do everything at once, you
mhm.
feel like if you see seeds, you should be growing them. And like we were gathering all sorts, and there were Japanese beans being grown last year and all sorts because we had the seeds. But then, once they grew, like we were left with loads of beans, and we were like, well, what
I,
now?
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
they went back to the chickens in the end.
There you
Um,
go.
yeah, but I'm trying to kind of focus in on what's important, either
Mm,
for food or for medicine to grow, and to not
yeah.
get carried away with all the other stuff that won't even get used in our house. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Focusing on the priorities or what actually will either move the needle forward for your end goal.
Hmm.
And also, I love just trying new things. So, like, sometimes I'm like, okay, I grew a watermelon.
Yeah.
Was it worth it? Probably not. It was like this big. And it was like I could have planted something that was more useful for,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you learn those things as you kind of go through your journey. So we kind of talked a lot about your homesteading stuff, but maybe we could kind of switch gears to homeschooling for
Hmm.
Caleb. And you mentioned that everything you do is for Caleb. So you said it's 4.5.
Hmm.
What does your day look like? What does homeschool look for Caleb? Or any tips or tricks for people that also want to go down this path if they are kind of thinking about the same thing?
Well, the first tip I would say is absolutely look into the curriculums that you're looking at buying.
Hmm.
Also, don't subscribe to one of these family lifetime ones until you've tried it out for at least a year.
Oh, okay.
And just there's a curriculum for everything.
Hmm.
You just have to know what you're looking for. But for him, we started off with a faith one, which I thought was going to be really awesome. And then
Hmm.
obviously I come at things from a science viewpoint as well.
Hmm.
And I think that you can have both science and faith, and that the two can cohabitate quite easily.
Hmm.
And they had things in their curriculum where they had like dinosaurs. This is
Hmm.
the exact example
Okay.
where they had taken some facts and then rewritten it to fit what they believed, and then presented it
Hmm.
as fact to be teaching children.
Okay.
So some of that stuff I was like, okay, well, that's not what I want to teach my kids.
Yeah.
So it might work for some people, but for me it doesn't. So that one was one that we won't be going back to next year. We've now settled with two, actually. We're
Okay.
doing one that's called critical thinking. That's
Oh,
literally the title.
nice.
Obviously, that's something that's hugely important to me, is that my son can look at some information and
Hmm.
make decisions based on that information and not what he's
Right.
going to believe. So that's very important to me. So we're doing that for the main curriculum. And then we've
Okay.
got one which is called Blossom and Root. And that's the nature and art side
Hmm.
of it. So between the critical thinking and the nature and art, and then the faith-based stuff is mainly just kind of workbooks and Bible
Yeah.
stories and things like that as
No,
well.
I love that. I like that with homeschooling, you can kind of figure out what curriculum
Mm.
and also lean into what they're interested in
Yeah,
and kind of just tweak it and make it that fits your family and your beliefs and everything
yeah,
that you want to teach your kiddos, which is great. And I think
yeah.
nowadays there's so many options for people to kind of find the perfect recipe
Mm.
for
Yeah.
their education.
And I
So
think I
go
think
ahead.
as well, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I think people are in such a hurry for their kids to be able to do their ABCs and the
Hmm.
numbers, and they lose some of the magic of their childhood, because, Caleb can do his ABCs and all of that as well, but he can also tell you where beef comes from,
No.
and he can tell you what the process of turning from a caterpillar into a butterfly is called.
Now, do you have it right now that is a structure work well for you guys for your homeschool with Caleb, or do you kind of change it based on how the day's going, or walk me through what a typical day looks like for schooling?
A typical day for us is kind of structured chaos.
Yeah, no, that's good. I like
Yeah,
that.
I like structures and routines, and I don't
Hmm.
like change. And obviously, like I said, I wasn't the most willing participant in homeschooling. So for me, it's been a learning experience for what works for me as well as for him.
Right.
I've always been very competitive, and very career and goal orientated. And so, pushing things like that is something that I've had to slow down on and accept that things don't need to be done. Everything doesn't need to be done right now. Basically, the way I started approaching homesteading was how I started approaching homeschooling.
I was going to say they kind of aligned.
Yeah. And now that we've been in it for a while, I'm slowly calming down and leaning into it. But yeah, we don't have like a strict get up time and, when we start school, but we have a pattern that we repeat every day.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it works great. Some days we have days where he just doesn't want to listen or he doesn't want to learn. And I've learned from battling through those days that it's not actually worth it.
No. Yeah. A similar situation. We're doing a preschool homeschool curriculum right now. And it comes to a point, like I'll go through the lesson and then I know that Aubrey's done. Like if I keep pushing, it's just not. So she needs a play break. And so I same thing. If I found that I'm like, no, we got to learn this one more thing or do this, that is just not receiving. So it's not worth the effort. So you kind of have to pivot and figure out, okay, maybe we'll just do this later or do it a different way and vice versa. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. You have to be so flexible with it as well. And like the thing is as well, you can call so much homeschooling these days. Like Saturday, which I wouldn't have called a normal homeschool day. I put down in our homeschool diary as a school day because like Caleb went to the Lowe's STEM Kids Club with John and they built a little wooden washing machine. Yeah. And then after that, we all went to go and see the monks on their walk to the peace. You've got STEM activities, you've got social things, all those things that you wouldn't necessarily have considered school. They're totally learning experience.
So much learning.
And they totally count.
I love kind of going back to the gardening, having Aubrey help me like peel my black beans. It's really fun, like hand-eye coordination, or even I don't know if I told you this when I was pregnant, my egg craving is out of this world. So I make boiled eggs now and I eat them, but Aubrey likes to peel them, but it's actually helpful for her and she just eats on a snack. So it's cool to teach them the process, especially if you have chickens.
Yeah.
Everything goes in there, but incorporating them into the things that I think maybe that we're learning too is helping us and helping them.
Yeah. Yeah. And also things like, because we're an ingredients household and we try and make as much as we can from scratch. So he's learning all of that stuff as well. And that's been a learning experience for me because I've realized how controlling I can be. That moment when they've got a cup full of flour and it's heading towards the bowl and the wrist just starts turning like that before they get towards the bowl and you're there going
let them make a mess. So do you guys have a favorite snack right now? Like what's your favorite snack that you guys make from scratch and then what's Caleb's?
Caleb's is oatmeal chocolate chip cookies.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. I might need a recipe for that one.
I will absolutely.
Please do. That sounds good.
Give you the recipe for that. I think my favorite thing is just bread.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Is it straight sourdough bread or is it like a add-in?
I do sourdough.
Okay.
And I also do a bread called pandesal, which is a Filipino bread because my husband is Filipino.
Cool.
So, and that makes the softest, squishiest sandwich rolls ever.
Really?
Yeah. So I tend to make those for Caleb because he doesn't generally appreciate the sourdough crust yet.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So
that sounds cool.
I don't really do any of the inclusions and stuff just because
it's a lot.
We add it to sandwiches and things. So yeah. Plus, I feel like I just I can't even say I mastered the basics. I don't think I'm there yet. Yeah. So I think anything like inclusions, are you actually doing inclusions? Yeah.
So that is my next thing. I'm like, do I do rosemary garlic or do I do jalapeno cheddar? I'm trying to figure out rosemary garlic I have in my garden right now, but I think I want to try and fail forward, you know? I just have to do it, rip the Band-Aid off. But I have made
Oh,
focaccia. That one's very easy. Have you
uh-huh.
made, yeah, because even if you like over ferment your dough, you can use it for focaccia. It's just like
Yeah,
a good thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I just got so sidetracked. We were talking about food and then we just got
No, no, that's great. But also, I need to know: have you given your starter a name?
Oh, I think I did. What was its name? Do you have a name for yours?
Oh, ours was called Dobie.
That's such a cute name. I don't think mine's even, I think I named it Daphne. I don't even know why. It has nothing to do with bread, but I think
Uh,
her name is Daphne. I don't know why. Maybe Scooby-Doo related, but I don't know how that relates. I just like the name. Daphne is her name.
Talking about names, it's really funny. We've given Caleb the option to name all of our new chickens.
Oh,
So,
okay. You have to share.
yeah. So the first one we had that was a boy
Mhm.
was named Frida. And we said
Okay.
to him, obviously, its name is Frida. It's clearly a boy. Do you want to change its name? So we now have a rooster called Flower. And then he's just named the 4 chicks today: Beak, Lego, Cutie, and Macaron.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah.
That is so
So
fun.
macarons was just because we made macarons yesterday.
I was gonna
So
say.
I think that was it. Yeah.
Oh, that's so great. I
Um,
love that you can incorporate him literally in every piece of what you do.
I just think it's great that because the names he comes up with are so creative, and it
Hmm.
gets to a point where we're like, what should we call this chicken?
Hmm.
Like you run out of names, like your mind goes blank, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Kids
So
are so creative.
now we have a chicken called Lego.
Lego. I love that
Yeah.
was actually the one that stuck out to me, the Lego.
Yeah.
That's cute. Well,
Yeah.
awesome. So we talked about, I kind of touched on everything, and I think you just recently shared another calling that you had. Did you want to kind of talk about, so we got homesteading Ruth now,
Hmm.
but now there's something more.
Yes.
Do you want to share a little bit about that and how that came
Yes.
to be?
Well, this was a crazy one. I grew up in a Christian household, so I've been involved in the church all of my life.
Hmm.
I became a baptized Christian when I was 13, about 13 years old, I think. And when I left school, I did 2 years voluntary youth work with a charity called Youth for Christ.
Okay.
But that obviously was a long time ago because I'm pretty old. And I haven't done anything like that for a long time. And then a few years ago, I had this calling that I was supposed to be involved in some kind of ministry in some way. For about a year, I thought maybe that was actually in the role as a pastor.
Hmm.
And I spent that year going, please don't make me do that, please. That's not me. I I can't talk to people in big groups. I don't like standing up the front. I have a panic attack if anyone makes me present to any more than a couple of people.
Hmm.
And I went, I cannot do that. And I sat on it for about a year, prayed for discernment
Hmm.
and for things to become more clear. And then my grandmother, who was in a nursing home in England, she had dementia for a long time. And I finally got the call to go home. And and I said to my mom, I'm supposed to be there when she goes. And mum said, okay, that's fair enough. So I got a phone call from her one day saying, you need to come home now. So I went home 2 or 3 days later, and I sat in a nursing home for a week and a half with my mum and sang constantly with her.
Hmm.
My other siblings as well, my sister and my brother were there. And then when it came to the end, when they said, okay, we're on end of life care now, mum and I basically stayed at the home from that moment until she passed.
Hmm.
And she passed at like 12:30 at night, and we were singing her home when she went.
Hmm.
The end was quite rough because she was in the final stages of dementia, and we sang the hymns that she loved most for that whole week.
Oh.
And I said to Mom, when she passed, instantly she looked 20 years younger. And she had this radiance and this glow about her, and she just looked peaceful. I turned to my mom and I said, what do you think she's doing up there now? And I said, I think she's running Julie Andrews style across the hills like this thing. And my mom looked at me and went, be serious, Ruth. She's gone to the nearest angel and gone, do you realise what I've just had to put up with for the last week and a half of my life? It was like a light bulb moment in my brain. And it was a very, very clear message that this is what I was meant to do. So I'm in the very early stages of it at the moment, and I don't even know how it's going to look.
Yeah.
But I'm looking towards training to becoming a death doula, or end of life doula is technically what they're called. Like there's so many people now with this loneliness. Can't say the word, sorry.
That's fine.
So many people now with this loneliness epidemic, and people have families where they don't talk, and you have people where they don't have the time or the resources to be there for someone when they die.
Yeah.
And so my calling is literally to hold their hand and hopefully help people to go out in calm and peace and in love, and to advocate for the people that can't advocate for themselves anymore. And that's basically it.
That's a powerful, so powerful, so purposeful calling that, like, this is, I think it was recently, right? Because I remember you messaged me, you had to go back home. And you knew coming immediately after it happened that is what you meant to do. Like,
before Grandma had even gone.
Before, okay.
Yeah, I was sat in the room talking with my mom, who is one of my best friends and my mentor as well.
Yeah.
She has been like a deacon in her church for most of my life, and her wisdom is incredible. And I just sat with her talking about it and said, I think this is what I'm supposed to do. And I think, and my mom turned around and said, I think you're right.
Yeah. So how would you say that this newfound calling connects with how you live now as a mom? Has it changed anything, or is it just kind of, it's always been part of who you were meant to be, and it kind of just blends so seamlessly with currently everything that Ruth is going on or has going on?
I'm very much of the belief that things happen when they're meant to happen for the reason that they're happening. And I honestly believe that I was meant to be a mom to Caleb in the time that we're in right now. You know, we went through years and years of infertility and fertility treatments and all that stuff, and none of it worked. But my mom always said, you were going to be a parent one day, it's going to happen. And it didn't happen. And then we got to a point where we'd accepted it, and we'd said, okay, well, let's enjoy John's retirement happen. And then,
of course, right?
Right. But I totally get the timing now. And I think that, you know, I was supposed to be Caleb's mom right now, because I feel like moms like you and me, and we have other friends as well, they're all getting this kind of thing in the back of their brain at the same time now, that saying we need to do this a different way for our kids going forward. And because of that, that's what, you know, what started the kind of initial stewardship, because that's what this is as well. This is part of our calling, is this earth was given to us. We should be stewards of it. And if we don't protect it now, it's not going to be around forever. And so that was another part of it. This little bit of land that we've got, let's protect it. let's teach our children how to look after it going forward. The only way that we change things is by pushing out and by talking to people. And the only way we do that is by spreading peace and love to other people. That is the mission. And so it started off as Caleb and it being a very insular thing. And since then, when we kind of leaned into it, it's now become a much bigger picture than we originally anticipated, I guess.
Oh, I love how you framed all of that. It's kind of like a perfect circle of everything we kind of been talking about and the purpose of everything that we've been talking about, the transition to homesteading, caring for animals, caring for your plants, what you put in your body, focusing on that, what we put in our minds, what we're consuming, not just like food wise, but also the media or the stuff that you're learning that plays into so many different things. If you're okay with that, I would kind of would like to now take this time to kind of provide some wisdom maybe or encouragement for listeners. So if there is someone, we've kind of talked about a couple of things, and one of the mainer things was that transition for you. And that transition can be for anyone. That could be a transition from a career similar to you or just a transition just to a new place. Would you have any wisdom or encouragement for someone that's going through a similar season of lostness or anything that you could maybe build them up or some advice?
For me, I think it would be take your time. Don't freak out.
That's easy to say, right?
It's so easy to say and so hard not to do.
Yeah.
It's really scary, and grounding is really important as well.
Okay.
Because whatever that is to you, whatever anchor there is in the kind of craziness, focusing on that and just take it one breath at a time, one step at a time.
Okay.
And community as well. Find people that are like you, that can support you and that you can give into as well.
That's wonderful.
Once you find your people, things calm down and you can focus. But the main thing is just breathe. It sounds crazy.
No, but it is. It's the one thing you can control is your breath. That's what they always say. I also had panic attacks and everything, and the only thing that would make me feel calm is something I could control, which was the physical.
Yeah.
And it kind of just settles.
Yeah.
Everything else.
Also, as well, I think as well with the digital age that we're in and trying to block all that stuff out is really important for your mental health.
Yeah.
Also, I would say not just for transition as well, for motherhood, the best piece of advice that I think I was given was you cannot pour from an empty cup.
Yep. That's a good one. The one I got a lot was you have to put your oxygen mask on first in order to help.
Yeah. I think as mothers and as caregivers, we always take care of ourselves last.
I know.
Like we always prioritize everyone else's needs before us.
Yeah.
And then you get to a point where you're miserable and you snap at everything.
Yeah.
And then you end up with a miserable kid as well who feeds off of the energy that you're giving.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like my advice with everything, with transitioning, with motherhood, with any of those kind of things, are just look after yourselves as well.
Yeah. It's weird because you just got cleared to like work out. I say even that I feel like you need to kind of reevaluate what actually feels good for your body. But even just taking 5 minutes to move my body, I feel like I'm a better mom just by like pouring into my cup. Or if I go make myself a tea like that, it gives you. So it's kind of what I'm learning right now in my current postpartum season is taking care of myself is so important because then I can do 10 times more and give my kids 10 times more, my husband more, my friends, my community, everyone, just taking that small amount of time of putting myself or doing those small things that kind of fill my cup, which is great wisdom. And thank you for sharing that for everyone. But I would love to kind of before we close out, I always ask fun questions at the end. So there is no right or wrong answer. I just love to know about people. So the first one, if you don't mind answering, are you a morning person or are you a night owl?
I am a permanently exhausted pigeon.
Oh, that's so cute.
I am not a morning person whatsoever. Definitely towards the evening.
Oh my gosh. Is there one thing you've grown that's been your favorite so far? Like overall?
My human. He
Oh,
was
you're
pretty fun. Yeah.
oh, you're human. I thought you said
My
human.
Human. No, my human.
Caleb.
Sunflowers. I love
Those are
sunflowers.
so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what do you like about them or love about them?
They're so big and bold and bright, and they they've just always spoken to me. I actually had sunflowers for my wedding flowers as well, so that was fun. And then we don't even use them. We just let the birds take
we
them.
get bird seed. Yep. So that's awesome. Okay, what about one practice that grounds you when life feels loud?
Prayer is an important one. I also quite like spending time alone.
That's how you recharge.
Yeah, so we have a creek that borders the edge of our property. So I will go and take some time to just go and sit down by the creek and listen to the water and just relax like that. Yeah.
That sounds magical.
Also saunas. Swimming and saunas.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. What has something in motherhood that has taught you or surprised you?
I think if you think you're patient enough, you're not. Well, for me especially, like they're little humans. Sometimes forget that, don't you? Like they're their own personalities and their own people, and sometimes you're just like, you're my kids and my baby and I love you and everything. But like their personalities are funny. And the comments they come out with and just their uniqueness. Anyone that knows Caleb knows that he loves to tell a story loudly and over again, constantly. And I was surprised like how much that can affect you when it's constant, and you have to learn to let go of a lot of stuff, I think.
Yeah, that's good.
I think, the biggest surprising thing about motherhood is the amount of stuff that I have just had to let go and roll with. Pick your battles. Yeah.
Yep. Pick your battles. This is kind of a good segue because you just talked about Caleb. Do you have a favorite thing about him? What's your favorite thing?
His wit. He's
wit.
So quick. He's so quick with his comebacks.
Oh
yeah. And he's just there's too much. And as well, my friends say his British accent.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Okay.
Because he's around me all the time, so he has a British accent even though he was born here.
I love that.
People love that. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. Okay, now we're going to finish on the last question. One thing that you want moms to hear today. So if there's a mom listening, or I guess anyone could be listening, but just one piece, maybe motherhood, what's one thing you want them to hear?
You are doing an amazing job.
Yes, that's a good one.
Yeah. Like some days they just don't work. Some days you have to take the small wins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you make it through the day? Did your child get fed?
Right. Yeah.
Is your child alive? Okay, that's a win. Some days that's a win. And that's okay.
No, that's good. That's a really good piece of advice. So I would like to thank you so much. We've had a great conversation. We kind of touched everything and then some, but I
You're
know
welcome.
that you have an Instagram, right? We didn't really touch much about your crochet, but do you
Mhm.
have social media to follow you along in kind of your journey or anything like that? Is that something that you can share with us?
Yeah, I don't use social media much anymore. The crochet thing is there, and
Okay.
if anyone would ever like to, learn how to crochet,
Yeah.
or I am even thinking maybe we need to start up a little crochet group where we just get together and
I
maybe learn
want
some stuff and have a natter.
Yeah, I would love that because
Yeah.
I told you that I texted you, I think, right before I
Mhm.
had him. I really want to learn.
Yeah.
And I have a wooble. Have you heard of that? Like, so that's all I have. But I
Mhm.
want to know because you made me the most beautiful blanket. So pretty, the green one. And I love it, but I want to have stuff in my house like I made
Mhm.
that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll definitely have to connect about
Yeah.
something going like that. But yeah, if you don't mind sharing, what is the Instagram? I can put it in the show notes too.
So it's called Heirloom Crochet.
Okay, heirloom
And
crochet.
yeah, and
Perfect.
it's on Instagram. And I was doing a bit of everything crochet wise for a while, and then I decided to kind of go more towards the ornate blankets like I made for you, just because that's the stuff that I enjoy. I don't tend to post much on them anymore, but if anyone local would like to learn or would like a blanket or a shawl or anything like that,
Yeah.
they are welcome to message me.
Oh, perfect. Good. Now, is there anything else that you feel called you want to share before we kind of wrap up? Or anything we didn't touch on?
I think in this season of my life, the thing that I'm most thankful for, especially since Caleb, has been the people that have come into my life because of becoming a mother and kind of the community that they have for moms around here. So I think my one thing that I would just like to say is thank you to all of the people that made my life
Oh, yeah.
special
Yeah.
recently.
Oh.
I'm getting a bit emotional now because family and friends are the most important thing in the world. And I think that is what is going to make our children an incredible generation. And we are so fortunate that we get to be the ones that do it. We got
Oh,
all the way to the end without getting emotional.
I know. It's such a powerful message, though. Yeah, I love you're so authentic with your heart. And I'm just so grateful that I get to be in your orbit and to just learn more from you as a mom, as a friend, and just as another human. So thank you for sharing and having the
For you.
what?
And the amount of work that you put into me when I was going through everything.
Oh, of course. Yeah,
You,
I've been there. I
yeah.
know. So I know exactly where you were. So
So,
I am.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like friendships and support groups,
Yeah.
women, we
Mhm.
make the world go round.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. Well, that's a great place to end our talk today. But thank you so much, Ruth. I really appreciate you sharing just everything about yourself and being so vulnerable with us. It takes a lot
You're
of
welcome.
strength just to do that. So thank you so much. If you enjoyed today's show, I'd be so grateful if you could share it with someone who might need it, or if you could leave a review to help others find this space of support and inspiration. That would be so much appreciated. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode filled with heart and healing. Until next time, take a moment to breathe, honor yourself, and know that you really are doing an amazing job. Sending you so much love and light. Have a wonderful day.